almost 3 weeks left, and then I'll be drifting for the first time. It's exciting. It's exciting. I think I am going to try and install a handbrake, a Hydro e-brake before. Just because, I mean, I was gonna not and like learn without it, but I mean, I've done so much simulator practice with an e-brake that, you know, that really it's a tool that I know how to use. I might go to grab it and it's not there, and that could be really, really bad. I don't know. I'm still looking. It looks like if I do the weld-on brackets, it's going to be a whole lot cheaper. At least $150 cheaper. So yeah, that's what that is. I'm going to go into Walmart now. I want to see how the DJI cams do with sound. So hopefully I can get a good pull right here. Hoping that that my ride height isn't bad, because I mean it's basically stock. It might be a little lower than stock, but like I didn't lower the car at all. I just put on the BC coilovers with whatever height setting they had whenever they shipped them, and put them on. And I like it. I mean, I don't have bash bars, so I don't have the jack points on the front or the back, so I need the car to be high enough to slip a jack under. Alternatively, I could just buy some race car ramps, 4 of those, and then, or I guess I really only need 2, and pull them up onto the ramps whenever I need to push a jack under it. I know there is a jack point on the diff brace that I have, but the exhaust is in the way. Now I do have like the normal like Harbor Freight Daytona 4-ton. There might be like a 3-ton low profile that would be able to slip past it to get to that dip brace jacking point, but I'm not gonna go spend another $160 or however much it is for it. It's probably like $200 or $300. When I have 2 perfectly fine 4-ton Daytonas. But yeah, back to my main point. I'm hoping that the ride height will be fine for drifting, because everyone lowers the fuck out of the car. But I know you don't want to lower it too much, because then you get rid of the amount of travel that the coilovers have, and that's just not a good idea. So I think it's recommended like 1 to 2 inches drop from the stock height. So eventually I'll do that once I figure out better jacking points, or get ramps or something. Either way, it's not getting dropped for at least my first event, probably for a couple. Yeah, but I went in, I got my alignment done. I'd say I got it done. I did it myself. I'll probably still take it to get it aligned. I mean, part of it is I'm just curious how close I am to what I think I have. Because, I mean, I'm just using normal toe plates that you put the tape measures on and doing math like that. And then a little camber bubble meter. So I'm not sure how accurate any of that is. I'm assuming it's like close enough, you know. But I mean, nothing's gonna be as good as like laser alignment from a shop. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try. If I can find non-sport brakes for this car in the rear, then I think I'm gonna order everything, or at least see the shipping. If it's like everything would get here within like a week from today, then I'm gonna go ahead and order it and start prepping the car before it gets here. That way, like, the interior is pulled up, holes are drilled, just everything's out of the way and ready to go. So when it all comes in, I can, you know, just go straight to putting it on. Because I mean, I have 3 weeks. 3 weeks from yesterday. So that means I have 2 weekends to get this done. Of course, you know, every day after work, I can put some time into it. But that's always a pain in the ass, and you know, you're tired from work. Weekends are the best time. You can just put a full, like, 8 hours or 5 hours or however much, solid, no interruptions. You're ready to go. Your brain's fully juiced up. This is turning more of a track car rather than a daily. I know I'm keeping it all, you know, nice OEM interior trim. I'm not weight reduction or anything like that. I don't even know if I'm putting bucket seats in it. I mean, probably eventually, but as of right now, I don't feel like spending the money. It's not necessary. The bucket seats are already partially there, you know. These are nice seats. They hold you pretty well, but I'm also pretty small, so I don't know if I fit in it too well. Also, just all the stuff I'm doing. I mean, it's got a welded diff. You have all the nanny features off. I did the switch to where it gets rid of VDC, traction control, yaw sensor, and then I also have it hooked up to that box over there to get rid of the burnout stopper. So there's a wire in that box under the glove compartment that stops you from holding the brake and the throttle together at the same time for more than like 5 seconds. And God knows I can't have that, because you got to be able to left foot brake, and I don't know how long it actually lets you do it before it cuts you off, but I don't even want to bother trying that. So I spent one day wiring that into my drift button that's under my cup holder. So we're pretty solid there. I put a lot of work into this. It doesn't seem like a lot, because it's like, oh, it's like the bare minimum to go drifting. But I mean, I've done so much. Angle kit, welded diff, the rear bucket spring delete that you put the tow arm in, and you put the camber arm in. I did the lug nut extenders, or not lug nut, the axle bolt extenders that the lug nuts go on to. Because I mean, whenever I put the new wheels on, it just didn't look like it had. I knew it had enough, but it just didn't feel like it. So now I have it. It's like an inch past the furthest point that my lug nuts go on. So it's good enough. Not good enough. It's fucking plenty now. It's, you know, really good. Okay, well, I'm back. I'm unloading groceries and start doing everything I need to do for the day, and then research the GK Tech bullshit, and maybe order that, and maybe I'll have a handbrake for the first time. I think I'll really enjoy that, because that's like the biggest component I'm missing. Either way, we're gonna get it done. Okay. It is Saturday, a week from the event. And I have so much shit to do. I've got the interior kind of stripped. I got the rear knuckles off. The hydro is pretty much good in here. I got that all up in there. Good. I got the external reservoir up in there. I made a bracket for that. That sits up in there real nice. And now Now I'm just kind of practicing my aluminum TIG welding in order to weld these brackets onto the rear knuckles so they can hold a extra caliber. They weren't quite the right size. And I talked to GK Tech, and they just said shave this down, and it should sit in the right spot. And now it sits pretty close. Before it had like ½ inch gap, but now it's good, and it lines up with the bracket. So yeah, practicing just my different welds, doing some gaps. I think I'm gonna get it done. I think it's gonna work out. But I don't have too much time left. But I think I can make it. I know that once I put everything back together, I'm gonna have to do an alignment again and see if it got thrown off. Because I mean, the rear's got the toe arms and the camber arms, but I didn't replace this. I'm guessing this is like caster. I have no idea if the amount of turns you put on this adjusts it, but I forgot to count how many it had on there, so I don't even know. I'm gonna just have to eyeball it and see if anything's really changed or something like that. We'll see. Or maybe I'll have time to make an appointment and get an alignment done. I have no idea. I'm just focusing on what I gotta do right now. I have to pop some holes right there, and same spot on the other side, and run the hydro lines up through here and then down there, and get a grommet to put up in there so it doesn't rip them. But I mean, besides that, it's pretty close to being done. Just, you know, testing camera equipment. I got the DJI Action Osmo 3 bullshit with the mic. I've been looking on YouTube at all the different the moto vloggers, and I mean, this is just, you just can't beat this. It takes so much to get something of this quality that, you know, might as well. I'm already in the DJI ecosystem. Might as well just get this. You just plug it and it records, and it just works. I got this neat little thing. Jesus. Put that on the top of the car. Duct taped on it so it doesn't scratch it up. Too bad. But I mean, that'll give me some good outside action shots. And I got, this one's gonna go in the headrest over here, or I'm gonna switch it between that and my helmet. But I got a little thing right here that captures the angle pretty well. Or, you know, I got the one on the helmet. So I'll probably swap between those two and see how that turns out. Got my helmet, my passenger helmet. But yeah, I can put the cam right there and it'll capture some good stuff. But just going through it. Hopefully, I'm pretty much just going to be practicing my welding this weekend. And, you know, at the end of Sunday, at the end of tomorrow, I will assess whether I think I have learned enough and practiced enough to really be able to weld these brackets. If not, I'll take the whole setup down to a welding shop down the street and pay, I don't know, 50, 100 bucks to have them do it. But from what I've done, I mean, I've only been doing it about a week. I probably have less than 4 hours of actual welding time, and I've been doing pretty good in my opinion. You know, an actual welder would probably look at it and be like, "This is shit," but I think it's gonna be fine for what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna be good enough for it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's get back to it. Okay. We did it. We got it welded up. And it looks, I mean, it's okay. It looks fine, I guess. I was going to TIG weld it. I've been practicing TIG for a week or two, and I was so ready to do that. But yeah, my TIG machine just isn't powerful enough to penetrate this much aluminum. So I switched over to the MIG. Not the prettiest welds, but I can guarantee it's gonna hold. It is deep. I shaved the edges of the bracket down to make a point, so I filled that in, and then, you know, this is a pass over the top of that. So that should work out pretty good. Got the dust shields cut and painted, so they look kind of nice. I don't even know if you can see those at all. I don't remember how the car looks with all the stuff back on. It's been so long. But yeah, we got that done, and now it's time to start putting it all back together. And it looks like we're gonna make it. I mean, I don't have too much of a doubt. I know I'm cutting it close, but as long as I passed that point of getting the knuckles welded, I knew I was gonna be fine. And the fact that I got that threshold passed this weekend rather than a weekday, yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I just gotta throw the knuckles up in there, attach all the suspension and the axle, and get it all torqued to the specs. Throw the extra calipers on, put the brake fluid in, bleed it out, and then it'll be ready to test. And it should be fun. And then I gotta do other random stuff, like set up the helmets with microphones and just pack everything and figure out how to get the car onto the trailer, because I have a tilt trailer, and I'm not really sure. I'm probably gonna have to create some like extra ramp for it to go onto to lower that angle. But I mean, that shouldn't be too hard. Go buy a couple planks of wood, cut them, and just make a ramp. Yeah, okay, I'll get back to it. Okay, I think I finally did it. I got all the suspension back together. I got the new calipers on. Everything's welded, everything's nice. I got the brakes bled. Everything is looking good up in here. I didn't spill anything when putting the brake fluid into the external reservoir. And now I just gotta put it back together. I went with there were a couple different versions of the master cylinder. I think there's 3/8 and 3/4 and 5/8. Whatever the bigger one is, I went with that. And it gives you a shorter throw. It's made for, like, if you're running, I don't know if they said Akebonos or Brembos, or if you're running bigger tires, which I am running bigger tires. But this will help because if it had the full throw, it comes back to, like, right here, and you just have to trim so much crap around the trim right here to make this not hit. But with this shorter throw, it's not going to hit. It's going to be fine. So I'm going to put everything back together, and maybe I'll test it tonight, maybe not. It's 9:40. I don't know if I should or not. We'll see how I feel. Finally, got everything put in. The hydro, the calipers, the lines. Got all the trim back on. Everything seems to work. I'm going to go out and test it now. And hopefully nothing fucks up, you know? Finally got everything together. Got the hydro in, the lines, the caliper, everything's tied down. Got the trim put back together. Everything looks clean. But the brakes and feels good. The handbrake is firm, so it's not a lot of pull to mess up the console trim, which is what I was worried about. But I have that bigger one, so it works good. But now I just gotta go out and test it. So hopefully nothing fucks up. Because it's the bigger cylinder? Well, I just tested it out and yeah, I'm really not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I seated in the brake pads properly. But I mean, it's just, I'm yanking on that hydro and it's like if I do it like hard, like I can kind of get it to lock up, but it feels stiff. It's pretty bad. And then along with that, like just everything back here is so hot. Like the calipers are pretty hot, and then I can't even touch the rotors. The rotors will instantly burn me. So I don't know, something doesn't seem right. I'm not sure what it is, but something's just not working out. And I have no idea what, because I'm not really a mechanic. I don't know anything. I look it up on YouTube and I do it. And if it doesn't work, then I start Googling. So I don't know, I'm gonna take the wheels off and look at the calipers and see if I can figure anything out. I guess I'll update if I find anything. Not exactly what I want to be going on after spending 2 weeks getting this ready just in time for an event that's happening in 2 days. But also, 2 days, that's a good amount of time to try and figure out what's going on here. I mean, worst case, I just don't use the hydro. Because, I mean, I've been practicing without it for a while, so I'm not, like, dependent on it in order to drift. But it would be nice to have that as a security thing. But I'm gonna figure it out. I think I figured out what the problem is. I took off the wheels and checked the calipers, made sure they weren't like weird or not tied down or whatever. And I started bleeding the brakes, and as soon as I opened that valve, it was air instantly came out, so I put my phone on it and started recording and then bleeding the brakes. And kept doing that and checking the footage until I didn't see any more bubbles come out. So I did that. And maybe that's all it was. It was a little bit of air. But I'm also pop open the trunk and check the T-joint and make sure there's not anything funky going on with that. Make sure there's not leaking at all. And then take it for another test run and see if I can get this rear end to lock up. Same shit. Okay. Update. The problem that I'm having with the hydraulic e-brake is all because of the master cylinder. I bought a 3/4 master cylinder because on the GK Tech website they said that if you have wider tires, bigger tires, or the bigger brake package, you want that for a more, it helps it bite more. What I'm found out is that's not the case. And it's just not, it doesn't work. I need the 5/8 master cylinder in order to make it actually lock the wheels up. So that sucks. There's really nothing I can do, especially with 2 days until the event. If they had it on like Amazon and I could like one day ship it and have it in, like I could switch it out, take like 4 hours, and I could unbolt it, switch the master cylinder out, bleed all the brakes, and have it back together in time. But there's no way to get that master cylinder here in time to do it. So I simply won't. And I'll just go with my original plan 3 weeks ago of not having a handbrake and just doing it without it. And I mean, I have a lot of sim practice, so I mean, I know how to throttle control it. I just got to get used to this car and dial in the tire pressure and all the alignment settings and get it to where it feels correct. But yeah, I'm a little bit bummed that I spent those 2 weeks working my ass off in here every single night, getting this thing together, learning how to TIG weld aluminum, like, and, you know, just sucks a little bit. But that's part of it, ain't it? Stuff will go wrong, stuff will not be right, and you just gotta deal with it. And hey, the car still works. I'm still gonna make it to the event. I'm still gonna have a hell of a lot of fun. And then there's another event like a month or two after this one, so maybe, not maybe, I will have the master cylinder replaced. That gives me something else to do after the event too, I guess. Not that I don't have a million different things to do, because I have to drop the transmission, and I have a whole new clutch with the 6-puck sprung bullshit, and I gotta put that on. And when I do that, I gotta also change out the CSC, or I need to delete the CSC and put the whatever that company's version is in that gets rid of all the crap. It makes it more reliable. I need to do that, but I need to order that because that's on back order. So I need to order that and hope that comes in, and when it does, I can switch that out. And at some point, oh God, at some point, I'm gonna have to do the gallery gaskets. I've never messed with an engine. I don't know anything about engines. I barely know anything about cars. But I'm gonna rip this whole front end off, and I'm gonna replace those gallery gaskets, the timing chain, and whatever other things that people recommend to change whenever you do the gallery gaskets. Because I can tell you what, I'm not ripping this thing apart twice. You know, unless it breaks and I have to. Man, yeah, it sucks, but whatever. Life goes on.